And welcome back. Now, as you all know, tomorrow is Black Friday. And of course, Black Friday was introduced to South Africa in 2014 and has pretty much taken off all over. But some questions do remain. Has it taken off for South African products specifically? And joining us now to answer that particular question is Happy Ngidi, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for Proudly South Africa. Thanks so much for coming through.
It's great to be here, as usual.
So everybody's excited about, Black Friday and the sort of bargains that they may lay their hands on. But the question about whether people actually care and whether South African goods actually benefit from this is what we are trying to discuss now. So talk to us about Black Friday and the concept and how it relates to Proudly South African.
With pleasure. So as we all know, 5 years ago, Black Friday meant not as much as it does today to South Africans, but today it's a movement that you can't afford to ignore. So from 12 midnight, you can imagine that, the craze will have started. But, so in as far as whether South Africans, are conscious of buying local products for Black Friday and even beyond, it's really a constant battle for us as Proudly South African. But it's good to see that, that South Africans appreciate the fact that they're starting to have an appreciation of the buy local phenomenon, that it is not a unique situation to South Africa. It's a world, tried and tested method worldwide. The responsibility that we have as a nation to buy local products and to support local services, because if you don't do that, who must do it?
Indeed.
Yeah, it's a collective responsibility. It ceases to be somebody else's problem, so to speak.
Absolutely. And have you had opportunity as Proudly South African to actually assess or engage with South African producers about how they have benefited from this Black Friday phenomenon?
Look, it's a huge phenomenon. Most manufacturers do benefit from it. But ours, as Proudly South Africa, is really to remind South Africans that there are products out there that are locally manufactured, locally made, products that are great quality products, accessible and affordable. It's a myth, and it's a mindset issue that many South Africans will think or believe that locally made products are not good enough. That's what we think, and we are here as Proudly South African to say that's not necessarily true. There's good products out there, locally made products, and it should be a lifestyle approach. Really, it can be the clothes that we have. I'm pleased to know that you're wearing a made in South Africa dress this morning because you're proudly South African like that. And so many South Africans will say to us, if they knew the economic impact that there is if you choose to buy a locally made product, they'll do it. Even if the product was slightly cost a little bit more, they would do it if they understood the economic impact. But and they'll ask us, I do want to support local, but where do I go and how do I know a product is Proudly South African? What we say is that it will have a Proudly South African tick, as in on my a golf shirt, or failing which it will say made in South Africa. No product falls from a tree. It must come from somewhere. And so if it's written made in South Africa, it is good enough for you to support. But we're talking Black Friday, but we're also talking beyond Black Friday. We're talking festive season. Many of us are getting, some people are luckier than some of us, where they get 13th checks and bonuses and all sorts of things. And so there's money around this time of the year. And we're basically saying that, South Africans must try and prioritize on buying local products. And also, even beyond the festive season, there's back to school. We can get locally made uniform and books and all sorts of things. But it should really be a lifestyle, because life goes on after the festive season.
Absolutely.
And after back to school. So,
but just a quick one before we end this part of the Black Friday conversation. Your website, as Proudly South African, there are goods on there that are for sale. Now, talk to me. Is that there all the time? Is it a Black Friday thing? What's the story?
No, it isn't. So 3 months ago, we launched an online platform, rsamade.co.za, which is an online platform for a proudly South African online platform. So as we all know, there's a lot of online platforms out there where you can go do your shopping, but this one is specifically for proudly South African products. So everything on that platform, the items that you get there, which is anything ranging from clothes, from food, drinks, appliances, all sorts of things are made locally. Even the suppliers of the different touch points of the online, like courier company, all of that is proudly South African. So rsamade.co.za is our online platform. For those of you who don't feel like standing in a long queue, that would be me. So I'll be very busy on online. In fact, a credit card company tells us that tomorrow South Africans are expected to be spending 600 or more, and I would say much more, because an appliance, a TV set, will cost you more than that. But they'll be, online. They'll be spending that much for online shopping tomorrow for Black Friday.
Happy Ngidi, thanks so much for stopping by, and happy chatting to us about Black Friday and, of course, the proudly South African element to that. And we'll talk more about it here on the show, so do stay tuned. Tomorrow, of course, is Black Friday. But let's get some sports news now from Valen and proudly South African Banyana, and she'll tell us more about that. Valen?